You still couldn't believe it. The diamond on your finger sparkled under the living room light as you twisted your hand this way and that. Every time it caught your eye, your chest fluttered like a nervous teenager. John Jungkook, your boss, your crush, your untouchable dream man, was now your fiancé. You were curled up on the black sofa of his penthouse when the sound of the front door unlocking made you jolt upright. Still awake, Jungkook's low voice filled the apartment. He stepped inside, shoulders broad in his navy suit, tie loosened, hair messy like he had been tugging at it all evening. You grinned. Welcome home, fiancé. He paused mid-step, and for a second you thought he would hide a smile. Instead, he raised an eyebrow. Say that again. You sat up straighter, teasing. Fiancé. Now he smirked, finally walking closer. I could get used to that. He leaned down and brushed a kiss across your forehead. It was so soft, you almost melted into the cushions. You are late, you said, pretending to pout. He sighed, shrugging off his jacket. Meeting ran over. The board thinks I should already be planning the merger instead of what was it? He glanced at you, lips twitching, getting engaged to my secretary. Ex secretary, you corrected, wiggling your ring finger. I'm officially promoted to CEO's future wife. Jungkook chuckled at that. Settling beside you, he rested his arm across the back of the couch, pulling you close without really asking. His presence was warm, comforting, grounding, everything you never imagined you would have with him. But then your phone burst on the table. You reached for it and Jungkook leaned back slightly, his sharp eyes flicking toward the screen. He didn't need to ask who it was, he already knew. Jimin. He muttered under his breath, the name rolling off his tongue like it was something sour. You blinked at him. Don't say it like that. Jungkook loosened his tie with one hand, his expression carefully blank. What? I didn't say anything. Yes, you did. You said, smirking knowingly. That tone, you always use it when it's about him. He sighed, running a hand through his messy hair. I just don't get why he needs to text you at midnight. Because he's my best friend. You reminded him gently, unlocking your phone. You know he's always been like this. Too much. Jungkook muttered. You raised a brow. Are you jealous? He shot you a look, half warning, half flustered. I don't get jealous. You laughed, typing back quickly while Jungkook watched, arms crossed. So, Mrs. CEO, does this mean I've officially lost my favorite drinking buddy? Correction, rich hot CEO, and no, you'll never lose me, idiot. You replied to Jimin. Jungkook's voice was low, almost sulky. He should really learn boundaries. You glanced at him amused. Are you seriously sulking on the first night of our engagement? I'm not sulking, he argued, clearly sulking. He leaned closer, voice dripping. I just don't like the way he looks at you, or talks to you, or breathes near you. You burst out laughing, nudging his shoulder. Oh god, you sound so possessive right now. Don't worry, he's harmless. Hmm. Jungkook hummed, unconvinced. He reached for your hand, tugging it into his lap, and stared at the diamond on your finger. His thumb brushed over it slowly. He can text you all he wants. Jungkook murmured, but at the end of the day, this ring is on your hand, my ring. Your heart skipped a beat at the quiet possessiveness in his tone. The weekend arrived faster than you expected, and with it came your promise to introduce Jungkook and Jimin properly. You had been dreading it a little. Jungkook already knew who Jimin was. He knew everything about your best friend after years of dating you. He just didn't like him. Too clingy. Jungkook often muttered whenever Jimin came up in conversation. You always brushed it off because to you Jimin was harmless. But tonight they were going to meet in person, no excuses. You arrived at the restaurant first with Jungkook, who looked unfairly handsome in his black shirt and rolled up sleeves. He didn't even need a suit tonight. His CEO aura carried everywhere. Glanced at the clock. He's late. He's just a little dramatic. You said quickly, he likes making an entrance. Of course he does, Jungkook muttered. A few minutes later, Jimin appeared, sliding into the seat beside you instead of across. He wore ripped jeans, a leather jacket, and that signature mischievous smile. Well, 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 the man who stole my best friend. Jimin said cheerfully, extending his hand toward Jungkook. Jungkook's eyes narrowed, but he accepted the handshake firmly. Fiancé, he corrected smoothly, not thief. Oh, Jimin grinned, wiggling his brows at you. Someone is territorial. Someone is annoying. Jungkook replied under his breath. You quickly cleared your throat. Okay, so appetizers? But Jimin wasn't done. He leaned closer to you, stage whispering. You sure about this? I mean, I'm prettier, funnier, and I won't boss you around at the office. He smacked his arm. Jimin. Jungkook's jaw ticked as he poured himself water. That's debatable. Dinner was lively. Jimin kept feeding you fries from his plate, dramatically holding them up. Say ah, he teased. You laughed, leaning away. I'm not five. But he still managed to shove one into your mouth. When you looked at Jungkook, he was cutting his steak with surgical precision, each slice sharp enough to cut glass. At one point, Jimin stole a sip from your drink, smirking. Your tastes better. You have your own glass. Jungkook said flatly. Yeah, but hers has more love in it. You nearly choked on your food. Jimin started, but Jungkook's glare could have burned a hole through the table. Halfway through the meal, you excused yourself to the restroom. When you left, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Jimin leaned back in his chair, smirking at Jungkook. So, CEO, you don't like me much, huh? Jungkook set his glass down. You are observant, I'll give you that. Relax, I'm not actually after her. Jimin said casually, twirling his straw. She's my best friend. Then act like it. Jungkook shot back. Best friends don't feed each other fries when one of them is engaged. Touchy. Jimin mused. You are worried, aren't you? I'm not worried. Jungkook replied smoothly, though the vein in his jaw said otherwise. I'm stating facts. She's mine. Jimin's grin widened, so possessive. No wonder she blushes when I tease you. Jungkook's hand curled around his glass tightly, but he didn't respond. He didn't want to give Jimin the satisfaction. When you returned, both men were sitting upright, pretending nothing happened. You raised a brow suspiciously. Why do you two look like you are about to start a business negotiation? Just bonding, Jimin said brightly. Yeah, Jungkook muttered, stabbing his steak, bonding. The rest of the dinner was an odd mix of laughter, thanks to Jimin, long silences, thanks to Jungkook, and you trying desperately to keep the peace. By the end of the night, as Jungkook walked you to the car, he finally spoke. I don't like him. You sighed. You don't even know him yet. I don't need to. He replied firmly, opening the car door for you. I know enough. And though you rolled your eyes, part of you couldn't help but notice how tightly Jungkook held your hand all the way home. It was another ordinary day at the company. Well, as ordinary as it could be when you were engaged to your CEO. You had left early for a client meeting, promising Jungkook you would meet him for lunch, which was why he was expecting him. John Jungkook she. Jimin's cheerful voice rang through the office floor as he strolled past startled employees. A coffee tray in hand, Jungkook looked up from his desk, already scowling. What the hell are you doing here? Jimin plopped the tray down on his desk like he owned the place. Bringing you coffee. What else? You are practically family now. I didn't ask for coffee. Jimin shrugged, sitting down in the chair across from him. Yeah, but your fiancé likes me better when I play nice, so here I am. Jungkook's jaw tightened. You are unbelievable. And you are welcome. Jimin replied, sipping his own cup. By the way, you should stop frowning so much. Wrinkles aren't good for your CEO image. Jungkook set his pen down slowly. Do you annoy everyone, or is it just me? Just you, Jimin said with a grin, because it's fun watching you lose your cool. That evening, while Jungkook was reviving contracts in his penthouse, his phone buzzed. He frowned at the caller ID. Why are you calling me? He asked the second he picked up, because she's not answering. Jimin's voice replied breezily. So I thought I would annoy you instead. Jungkook pinched the bridge of his nose. Don't you have friends? You are my friend now, Jimin declared. I am not your friend. Sure you are. You are marrying mine. It's practically a package deal. Buy one, get one free. Jungkook groaned. God, I regret this engagement sometimes. No, you don't. Jimin teased. You are madly in love. Don't worry, I'll keep your secret safe. Goodbye, Jimin. Night, bestie. Jungkook hung up and threw his phone onto the couch with a muttered curse, but there was a reluctant curve at the corner of his mouth. The weekend rolled around and somehow Jimin convinced you to host a stress relief game night at your apartment. You had pizza, soda, and video games lined up. Jimin sprawled across your couch like he owned it, tossing popcorn in the air and catching it with his mouth. Loser buys dessert. Jimin announced, holding up a controller. Jungkook rolled his eyes, loosening his shirt cuffs. Prepare to lose then. You sat between them, controller in hand. I'll be the referee. No way, Jimin protested. You are on my team. He hooked an arm around her shoulders dramatically. We are the ultimate duo. Jungkook's glare could have set the popcorn bowl on fire. She's mine. In marriage, maybe, Jimin shot back, smirking, but in gaming, she's mine. You laughed nervously, trying to focus on the game, but the real battle wasn't on the screen. It was the way Jungkook's jaw clenched every time Jimin leaned into you, the way Jimin winked every time Jungkook lost a round, and the way you sat trapped in the middle of their silent war. Finally, Jimin won another round and whooped, pulling you into a side hug. See, told you, perfect team. Jungkook tossed his controller onto the table. I'm done. You front already? But I'm not in the mood to play childish games. Jungkook said, standing up, but his eyes were locked on Jimin, sharp and unreadable. Jimin just leaned back with a satisfied grin. Don't worry, CEO, I'll take good care of her in game. Jungkook didn't answer, he just grabbed his jacket and muttered, over my dead body. You looked at Jimin while Jungkook walked out. There's a limit of teasing Jimin. You made him mad for no reason, saying that you followed Jungkook. Later that night, after you fell asleep, Jungkook was scrolling through reports in the living room when his phone buzzed again. You were a sore loser tonight, CEO. Stop texting me. I'm just making sure you know I'm not going anywhere. Neither am I. Good, then we understand each other. She deserves both of us watching her back. Jungkook stared at the message for a long moment, then set his phone down with a small exhale. Annoying as Jimin was, he wasn't entirely wrong, and maybe, just maybe, that was the beginning of their strange, bittersweet bond. You had been planning something sweet all week, a surprise dinner for Jungkook after his endless string of meetings. He had been working late, barely sleeping, and though he never complained, you saw the fatigue in his eyes. So you packed his favorite takeout, lit a couple candles in his apartment, and told yourself tonight you would remind him that engagement didn't have to mean only stress. Meanwhile, Jimin barged into Jungkook's penthouse with bags of snacks. Game night round 2. He announced, I didn't invite you. Jungkook said flatly, seated on the couch with his laptop. You didn't need to. We are family now. Jungkook dropped the snacks on the table. Come on, live a little. Jungkook ignored him, typing away, so Jimin did the only logical thing. He sat right on Jungkook's lap. Jungkook froze. What the hell are you doing? Breaking a robot shell. Jimin threw an arm around his shoulders. Loosen up. Say something fun. Smile. Pretend I'm her if you have to. Jungkook shoved at him. Get off me, you lunatic. No, not until you prove you can relax. You are insane and you are boring. Jimin. Jungkook's tone was sharp, warning, but Jimin only grinned wider. That was the exact moment the front door clicked open. You stepped inside, humming as you kicked off your shoes. The warm smell of food drifted from the takeout bag dangling in your hand, and then your eyes landed on the couch. Jimin was sprawled comfortably across Jungkook's lap, his arms slung around Jungkook's stiff shoulders like they were in some sort of bromance drama. Jungkook, on the other hand, looked like a man trapped in a hostage situation. Your jaw dropped. What the hell is happening? Both their heads snapped toward you. Jimin's smile was instant, wide, and absolutely unapologetic. Oh, hey bestie, you are home early. He gave you a casual wave as if he wasn't perched on your fiancé like a cat. Jungkook shoved at him with both hands. Get off me. But Jimin clung tighter, his grin wicked. Nope, not until you prove you can relax. Your voice rose an octave. Why are you in this position? Jungkook shot you a look, exasperated, like this was your fault. Because your annoying best friend knows no limits. Correction. Jimin piped up sweetly, tightening his arm around Jungkook's neck. I was trying to entertain your fiancé while you weren't home. Poor guy looks so lonely. You almost choked. Entertain him by sitting on his lap? Jimin gasped dramatically, pressing a hand to his chest. Wow, you make it sound so scandalous. We were just bonding. Bonding? Jungkook's voice cracked in outrage. He's crushing my legs. Jimin snorted. You live. Besides, don't act like you are not enjoying my company. I'm not. Jungkook barked, trying to push him off again. You slapped a hand over your forehead, groaning. I leave you two alone and suddenly you are starring in some weird soap opera. Jimin wiggled his eyebrows at you. Plot twist. Love triangle? Out. Jungkook thundered, finally shoving Jimin so hard he nearly tumbled onto the floor. But Jimin, ever the performer, landed gracefully, dusted off his pants and smirked. Relax, CEO. No need to be jealous. She still likes you more, probably. He threw a cushion at him. Get out before I kick you myself. As Jimin sauntered toward the door, he winked. Fine, fine, but admit it, you both laughed a little. You glared, Jungkook glared harder. Okay, fine, I'm leaving. Sorry for disturbing now. You love birds, enjoy. And as Jimin left the apartment whistling, clearly proud of himself, silence fell. You turned back to Jungkook, who ran a hand over his face. I can't believe this is my life. You bit your lip, trying not to smile at the absurdity. Welcome to having Jimin in the family. He's going to drive me insane. You couldn't help it. You laughed. The sound slipped out before you could stop it. Jungkook froze, turning to you. You're laughing? You pressed your lips together, shoulders shaking. I'm sorry, it's just seeing the two of you like that, it was ridiculous. He groaned, but the corner of his mouth twitched. You think this is funny? You stepped closer, sliding your arms around his waist. A little, but mostly, I think it's cute that you put up with him for me. His eyes softened instantly, all the tension melting away. He pulled you against his chest, chin resting on your hair. I don't put up with him for me. I do it because he's your best friend and because you are worth it. Your heart fluttered, you tilted your head up, and his lips met yours in a slow, tender kiss. Warm, steady, everything Jimin could never tease out of him. When you broke apart, Jungkook whispered with a small smile, "As long as you're mine, I'll survive him." You smiled back, "I love you, and I love you more than anything else." Then he kissed you again.